Oh, hey, what's up? You're filming real people doing real stuff. These aren't performers. So you have to really think about, how do I direct my film without directing my film? Whoa. Know what I mean? One of the trickiest but most satisfying parts of directing a documentary is capturing cinematic scenes without overly interfering, giving explicit blocking directions or doing multiple takes, which starts leaning into fake world pretty quick. Now you might be thinking, why not just ask them to do it again? Well, it depends on your philosophy, ethics, and really the format of the film you're trying to make. Different formats have different expectations from the audience. If it's a hosted docuseries, travel show, or reality TV, your viewers expect that some of it is highly choreographed, so you may have more flexibility. If it's a verite-style war film, the unspoken agreement between the filmmaker and the audience is that this is real, unless otherwise stated. So you have an obligation at that point to keep it real. Personally, I came through photojournalism where faking anything was a good way to get fired. Now I live in the messy middle. Documentary filmmaking, where journalism and cinema are blended together like some ethically confusing smoothie. So I default to not asking people to repeat things or do anything unnatural. Can you react like you just found out your dog can talk? But like, subtle? That said, it's hard to pull this off and make it look good and feel like a movie at the same time, especially when you know exactly what you want, but you can't tell the person what to do or say. So here are 4 principles I live by to keep it real. Real quick, don't miss the free download in the description. It's a guidebook with 35 rules of documentary filmmaking I wish I had when I was starting out. Be ahead of the action. When you don't have to, avoid chasing the moment or scrambling to follow the action behind someone.
Catch Milangeni! Oh, maybe somebody can! Is that our cameraman?
If someone's on the move, position yourself so that they arrive to you. In other words, set up where the action will end, not where it begins. This lets you be proactive and capture stronger, more intentional coverage. For example, say you're filming a man arriving at his print shop. Instead of standing outside for a master exterior of him walking in, position yourself inside, ready for him to enter the frame. That way your exposure, focus, white balance are all already dialed in, and you can seamlessly continue filming the interior coverage after he enters. Radical presence equals radical anticipation. Radical. So how do you stay one step ahead? You have to keep asking yourself, what's going to happen next, and where should I be to catch it? Like anything, the more you do this, the better you get at it, until you're kind of like a psychic. The answer comes from being radically present, which starts with being an excellent listener. For example, if your subject is making breakfast and casually mentions grabbing eggs from the chicken coop, don't wait for them to head outside and then clumsily chase after them with the door slamming on your lens. As soon as you hear that cue, you hustle ahead, get set up at the chicken coop. Now you're ready when they arrive. No repeats, no staging, just smart positioning born from good listening. Start wide to see where they land, and then just kind of rotate in to snipe off some tighter coverage. And you can even grab a few detail shots before they even show up. The editor will love you for those seamless transition options. Think tight shot transitions. That is radical. It's a fun word to say. So yes, listening matters, but if you're truly present, you'll start anticipating even the unsaid. You'll sense what's coming next before it happens, and that's where the magic happens. And that's where the magic lives. When in doubt, just ask. If you're unsure what's about to happen, ask simple, low-friction questions like, what's about to happen? Where are you headed next? What's the next step in your process? These questions are easy, non-disruptive, and keep you in sync with your subject. I've filmed a lot of travel food shows, and one of the most useful habits is just quietly asking the chef where she's going next. Doesn't interrupt the moment, it actually helps preserve it, and you can be all set up and snipe off coverage. Simple questions can be your best directing, not directing tool. Years ago, my photojournalism mentor Stan Heist gave me a piece of advice I still use today. Make a feature of your problem. In other words, if life hands you a bright, blown-out background, make a silhouette. Don't fight the situation. Shape it into something intentional. By going with the flow, you not only capture more spontaneous, authentic moments, which make for better TV.
What's the best kind of firework to buy?
Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy?
But you also reduce friction. It's kind of like filmmaking judo, using the natural energy of the moment rather than forcing it into something you want it to be. Like a mountain stream, it doesn't carve its own path, it follows the natural contours of the mountain. In fact, I've directed 35 episodes of documentary series television for PBS with Patty Hinich, and some of the best scenes came from things not going according to plan.
First, we have to put the...
Hola, Raquel.
Well, I guess I first need an apron.
Más abajo, más abajo.
One of my favorite examples is from season 11 of Patty's Mexican Table, when we were filming with Chef Wilson Alonso at his jungle restaurant in Yucatan. His abuela kept interrupting, and instead of politely asking her to stay out of the shot, I realized she was 100% the best part of what was happening in front of the camera. So we leaned into it and let her take over. It was real, it was unexpected, it was unforgettable, and she was the star of the show. So yeah, directing without directing isn't about control. It's about awareness, presence, it's curiosity, it's learning to dance with the reality instead of wrestling it into submission. Be ahead of the action, listen like a hawk, ask good questions, sometimes simple questions, embrace the chaos. And when something goes wrong, make a feature of your problem. It's not failure, it's filmmaking. I think I had too much coffee today.
Bad.
Now, if you've ever wondered where the ethical line really is, the next video is non-negotiable. We're talking about how far you can push before you're not just shaping the story, you're manipulating the truth. What's fair? What's fake? Where does documentary end? Manipulation begin? Journalism somewhere in the blender of smoothie ethics? So hit that next video and let's get uncomfortable in the best way. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, especially if you think I'm totally wrong or right. Tell me why. And I got more tips for documentary filmmakers every single week. So make docs, move hearts, come back. Peace.